So today I am back and we are going to be taking a look at Mastermind Creations Leo Ducks, aka Razorclaw. And this is my third Razorclaw. I've been juggling back and forth on these guys if I wanted them or not. And my brother purchased it. Because he wanted to see which one was better. So I got Razorclaw here. I also got the Headstrong as well. So we'll be taking a look at these guys shortly, or that one shortly. And the way this is going to work is today we are doing this review of him. Tomorrow's video will actually be a full comparison video between him, the TFC guys, and the Unique Toys, the two Razorclaws there. So you won't actually see those guys in this video to compare them, because I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So if you guys are tuning in just to see that size comparison, just wait till tomorrow. Play that video and you'll see the full comparisons. I won't go through transformation on that video, but what I'll do is I'll show off beast mode, show off robot mode, and then show off combined mode, and then bring out the board and weigh every aspect of each individual figure, and then one day I will be doing the three Predacons or Predakings versus each other. So yeah, this is the start of the Predaking Wars for me. So this is going to be interesting. So yeah, here he is in his line mode. He looks all right. I've got a couple issues with him. The front paws are a little weird. They're actually supposed to be like this, and that looks a little too weird for me. So I kind of fold it up a little bit to make it a little bit further down, and that looks a little weird too, but I think it looks better. These back legs are a little thin for my taste. I think they and the feet look really tiny. I mean, a lot of people are saying that it doesn't look that bad in person, but it does. I mean, these things are dinky in comparison to the rest of the legs, so I don't know if I like that. Especially, it's like if you got this going on here with these, I mean, what the hell is he doing here? Is he tiptoeing? Lions are supposed to have big, meaty paws, to contain all those big claws. Lions especially. I mean, I live in Colorado. We have mountain lions. I see mountain lions. I see mountain lion tracks. Mountain lions are smaller than lions, and they have big fucking paws. So this is just, those things just are weird to me. The tail also is a little goofy. I'm not trying to be overcritical of this figure. I'm not. There are a lot of things I really like about this. But the tail, it's a little weird. I would have preferred a more natural tail than this. This looks, it just, yeah. On that, mouth opens and closes. Head can kind of get a little bit side to side. People are saying that if you pull one of the ball joints off on the inside, it gets a lot more motion, but I'm not going to do that because I really not want to pull something out and break it, just to give him a little bit more head articulation. But the mouth does open and close. Teeth are nicely painted. The eyes have this nice metallic red in there. Looks really nice. Shoulders here move up and down. They also can come in and out. He's got two bends, one here and here, for the arms. So he gets decent range of motion there. foot is on a swivel, and then the actual foot itself is on a ball joint on top of that swivel. So you can kind of do a lot of things with that. Too bad it's just really small. The waist does kind of rotate a little bit. It's not, well, I mean, it's not very useful in this mode, but it is there. Tail can move here, and it also moves at the tip. You don't want to dislodge it from the legs, which is kind of easy to do. Back legs are on ball joints, but they more or less just move side to side. The ball joint does give them a little bit of playability so that they can kind of move a little bit out of the way when you're moving the leg. Leg has a hinge here. Back leg is on a hinge here. And the back foot is on a ball joint and also on a hinge right there. So he does get quite a good range of motion there. And I do like it. I mean, I really like the figure. I just wish the legs were a little bit thicker and meatier. Especially those feet. Because those, like I said, I mean, if they would have made the feet a little bit wider, I mean, I understand why they did it that way, but I don't know. Anyway, so now this whole assembly here, excuse me, this whole assembly here can come off to give him, you know, a little bit of a less of a profile there, and then also if you want, you can pull these guns off here as well. So I'll just pull these off. And he does look more natural without all that armor on him. And I do like it better. I like that option. That you could pose him with the cannons and back plate or without. You don't have to do it one. You don't have to have it on there, or you're not forced to. It's nice to have that option, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to go into the battle with the TFC and Unique Toys now, but Unique Toys, like, this stuff has to come off, and you can't put it back on. Whereas the TFCs, they're on and you can't take them off. So it's kind of nice that you can leave them on, or you can take them off with this figure. Actually, it's really nice. I really like that, because I prefer him without it. That's another part of my problem here, is that these legs, you know, they clip together, and this thing just kind of frictions in between them. There's a little, let me pull it apart. This little groove that's designed for this, and you can just kind of plug it in there, but it doesn't plug in, it just kind of sits in there, so you got to move the other leg into place around it and then plug it together, and you know, it just kind of sits. So it's like if this comes off a little bit, that tail is coming out. Of course it's not going to now that I'm saying that. But it's been doing that to me all day, so but we'll just get right into transformation. And this guy is actually not very difficult, which is another thing I like about this figure. For the level of detail, it not being that difficult is great. So you take the tail off. We'll just set that off to the side with the rest of the armaments. You want to take the legs here, make sure they're split, and then slide them down. Nice solid slides. You don't have to sit there and, like, you know, pull it down, you know, like other figures, and you don't have to sit there and like cram it up. I mean, it'll slide up really nice and solid, and it feels like it's pretty on there tight, but you can also slide it down. You know, you just got to give that right amount of pressure and it will move for you. You know, it's not gonna go on its own, but you give it the right pressure and it moves. And then again, it's not going to come down on its own. You just have to give it the right pressure. So, anyway, you take this assembly here, and you rotate it around, and this black groove here is going to fit into this slotted piece back here. So you just want to line those up, fold this in like so, clasp that together, this comes down like so, and then you want to take this back piece here, okay, do this first. So you take this piece down, flip it like that, then we'll just collapse this all in. Like so. Fold this down, and then you just kind of line those up, and that becomes his heel. And then you take this piece here, fold it up a little bit, and you slide this all the way down, and that's the toe. And then you can come in here, and there's a little piece here that comes out like so, and that's kind of like a foot extension. It's weird, but it works once you have everything right. And you just kind of prop that up, wherever, just so that it kind of helps hold the foot into place. Anyway, moving on to this one. So pull this one out, rotate this around, fold the foot in like so. Collapse it all together, pull this foot out, pull out that little strut there, fold this down like so. Then you come to the waist joint here, and what you want to do is take this piece here and just kind of fold this up. It's on like 1, 2, 3 different swivels. So you just kind of get it up and out of the way, and you rotate the waist around. And the reason why you had to do that is because this whole thing is on a rotator as well. If you have Hexatron, you're familiar with that design element. He's got 2 little skirtings that go around him. So this moves on its own. And you can just plug, there's 2 plugs here, one here. They plug in those 2 holes there. And you just plug that in. And that locks that slider into place with the bottom half. But again, because that slider's there, you can still rotate it. And now he's starting to come together. Rearrange my lights a little bit, zoom out. There we go. And then what you want to do here is you pull this assembly here out. Detach these 2 things. Plug them back in together. And you set these off to the side. Rotate these arms down like so. This piece goes like that, so you want to have it straight down like that, and then you take the line head here and you pull it out. There's a plug on the back of his head here that this plug here plugs into, so just kind of you put it in there and it actually holds it in place really well. TFC has a similar design that works, but it's kind of reversed. So you take this and you fold this down, and just be careful not to pull this assembly out, because if you do, you pull out the Predaking head. This whole thing's on a hinge, and it's kind of a pain to get that Predaking head back in there. So we're not ready to do Predaking yet, so we don't want to open that can of worms. So you fold this down. there's a little peg there that'll fit into this little hole there. So you just kind of line those up, plug it together, and although that's a really small plug, it does hold it in there pretty well. The line main does extend for combined mode. Again, that's for combined mode, so we're not going to go into it. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is you can see that it's not hindering anything, which is really nice. It sits behind the line main and sits there very well. Okay. Sorry, work texted me, so I had to take a quick second there. Alright, so what you want to do here is pull this little panel here out, and that's where his hand is stored. So you flip that out, close that back up. You want to rotate the paw around, and then there's a slot right in there that'll fit into that on that peg there. Just like so. Rotate the whole arm around. Rotate the hand forward, and there you have his arm. Do the same thing over here, so you rotate this around, open this up, flip out the hand, close it back up, flip the hand around. There's grease on him. They apparently greased this guy before I got him. And there you have the standard Leodax. The reason why I say standard is because he still has armaments. And yeah, he's pretty cool. I really do dig this guy. Why is this blurry? Focus. This is being blurry. Let me turn the camera off for a minute. Alright, that was weird. I don't know what is going on with the camera, but I think it's corrected itself now. I couldn't get back into focus, and everything was orange for about 20 minutes there. I don't know what the hell's going on. So now everything's white again. So, and that's the way it should be. Okay. So let's talk posability, and then we'll talk, we'll show off some scale, and then we'll talk weapons. The weapons will go last, just because there's so many of them. So, for posability, he has a, let's see, that is a swivel in the head. No, it's a ball joint. He has a ball jointed head, so it gets all the way around. Great head sculpt there. Nice red glowing eye there. Shoulder up and down. Swivels in and out. There's a bicep swivel there. There's a backwards bicep bend. Bend at the elbow. Another bend at the elbow, so there's one here at this bend and one here. So he gets a double bend there. Hand is on a swivel. That's pretty much it for there. Mouth does open. Everyone seems to want to point that out. Waist swivels. Hips up and down, in and out. There's a thigh swivel. Bends at the knee. He's got this backwards knee joint, which is more for combined mode, but it is there. And the foot does pivot a little bit at the toe, but for the most part, they just kind of sit there. And then he's got these two little skirting pieces here that kind of get out of the way if you really move his legs. So yeah, very posable figure. Very nice. Feels pretty solid. You can set him down and he feels pretty solid. Just thud, and he's standing. So yeah, pretty great all-around figure there. Here he is next to the iGear Starscream, and he's, you know, about a head taller than him. He seems to have a little bit more bulk to him as well. And here he is next to the Classics Seeker. So yeah, and he comes up to about the waist. But that's not all. That is not all at all with this figure. So he's got these pieces here, which, you know, some people are saying that they plug in to the bottom of the cleavers. You can do that if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna. Apparently, you can clip these underneath Dive Bomb's wings. So once Dive Bomb comes out, then I guess I will be clipping them under his wings and leave them there. I was hoping that there's a way to like clip it underneath here or something like that, but so we'll set this off to the side. He's got these tail pieces which you can unplug from each other. They're basically they are exactly the same mold. These are for the Combiner sword now. Again, there's not much use for it in this mode. I believe you can peg them into the sides of these cannons. And I hear that that doesn't work very well. And I can see, well, it plugs in there fairly well. Again, it's one of those that's like, I'm just gonna set it off to the side. I'm not gonna worry about doing that. So let's talk about these guns for a second. You can extend them out. That's more for combined mode, but you can extend them out. You can take this whole assembly here, fold this up, make sure this little port here is out, and you can plug this into his forearm. So you can have a forearm blaster if you wish, or you can put them back where they were, which is these slots right in the back here and here. So just plug these in. Plug these in. There we go. And you can either leave them folded up on his back, so they just kind of stick over his shoulders, or you can actually take them and extend them up, either here or all the way up like this. However you want to do it. I like to leave them back like that, just because it looks more unified, I guess. So plug these in. And so unfortunately he doesn't come with this big gun that the G1 toy had. Maybe that'll come with like Dive Bomb or something like that. So there's that. He does have these gigantic meat cleavers. I mean, they're ridiculously huge for this guy. And everyone shows off the combined mode on those. I'm not going to, not today, just because, you know, we've seen it before. But yeah, you can just plug it into his hand and Now he's got a big meat cleaver, and he's ready to cleave things. Cleave meat. You take this shield piece here, or this crotch piece, and you want to unplug this. It just folds out like this, and then you rotate this around like so. So it's got that slot right there. And that can just plug into his forearm here. And now he's got like a shield, which I don't remember who said it, but I saw it on one of the forums, and it's so true. Just you gotta have a lot of, a man shows a lot of courage when he uses his crotch as a shield. And you can plug the other sword into this hand here, and yeah, there you go. There is the fully armored up Leodux. Again, you can this will plug in. There we go. Again, you can take like these black pieces here, and you can plug them into the back of the handles if you want to. Give them like this big weight at the end, and then these can kind of port into the guns back here. They hold fairly well. A lot of people are saying they weren't holding very well, but mine seem to hold pretty decently anyway. I mean, I wouldn't risk my life with them. So, all in all, he's a great looking figure. He's fun to play with. Great start for this set of Combinders that I got. I know Bovis and Fortis technically came out first, but he was the first one out of package at my house. My main complaint about him is the feet. Both the line feet and the robot feet. I mean, these things are really kooky and hard to keep in position. So I mean, you kind of see me while I'm doing this review. I've been trying to fiddle with them to keep them stabilized, and it takes just the slightest touch to get them out of place. It's really fucking annoying. These feet here. The lion's feet are tiny, but these feet are just fucking fiddly as shit. I really hate them. It's a terrible design, and does detract away from the overall figure, I think, because I'm constantly fiddling with them. Unique Toys, and the TFC does not have this problem. But other Mastermind Creations figures that I have don't have this problem either. I don't know, Bovis or Fortis, whoever this one is, Headstrong. I'm looking at his feet right now. They don't have that same issue, and I know Six Shot does not have these issues either. So all in all, I mean, that's really, for me, detracts a lot from this figure. I really don't like those feet at all. But I do like pretty much everything else there is about this figure. I think he's a great size, big and hefty. He looks like he could definitely be a leader of Predacons. He's got an updated look to the classic Razorclaw without being slavish. So he's got like a few liberties taken here and there that really add to the character of the figure. The figure has a lot of character, and I really do dig it. There's not, other than the feet, there's not much I would change on this guy. If the feet were different, I'd probably give him a full 10 out of 10. But as it is, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. But the figure has a lot of character, and I really do dig it. There's not, other than the feet, there's not much I would change on this guy. If the feet were different, I'd probably give him a full 10 out of 10. But as it is, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. because those feet do really bug me. I might even go down as 8 out of 10, but because of the fact that this armor is, you can have it on or off lion mode, that gives him an extra point. The other gripe is the fact that there's no real place to store certain parts of his accessories, like these things. Like, they store decently in lion mode, but they just kind of hang off the handle here, and these things just kind of, you know, they're not in there very well, but they are in there. I don't like that. And I know you can attach the swords to him in lion mode, but that just looks ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. But other than that, I do really like him. I am very excited to see what else Mastermind Creations has in store for us. And I am very excited. I'm sorry if I gave out a little preview-ish of the other two Razorclaw War, or the Razorclaw War we're having tomorrow. But hopefully I didn't give out too much. Because there's a lot of points I want to touch on when we're going through these guys. Almost like a rant of the week. And mine did come with batteries. I know a lot of people were bitching that theirs did not come with batteries, but mine came with batteries. I don't know if I'll put them in there, just because I'm not the biggest fan of LEDs, LED eyes. It works, but it's not something like, oh my god, I need to do that. So, well, you know what, I will put them in there for tomorrow, because it is a feature of the figure that needs to be shown off, because that will definitely count. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I do recommend him. I think it's a lot of fun. Unlike Swindle, who we saw yesterday, and Brawl we saw a little while ago, those guys are great standalone figures. This guy clearly is part of a combiner team, as evident of the ports standing out on the back. He'd look good by himself, but it's very evident that he's part of a combiner. It's not hidden very well like the Brawl and Swindle. Blastoffs wasn't handled or hidden very well, but those two's were. So yeah, all in all, great figure, a great mold. I do like him. 9 out of 10. Get him while you can, really.